afternoon, Rob. How are you doing?
I'm well. I hope you are too. Certainly a tough Saturday for your team. 17-3 lost to Elon, where you had some opportunities as you've gone back and looked at the tape. Just give me your impressions on the game.
Yeah, and as you said, we did have some opportunities. We obviously did not play very well in the first half. Felt like our offense never got going. We never really got on the field. I think we only ran 15 plays in the first half. We had people open, didn't hit them, so that's frustrating. That's a little irritating. Our defense really, I thought, did a very good job of limiting what Elon was doing. Elon had a ton of yards, but end of the day, they only had 3 points. And so I think that was a huge, huge plus for us. I went into the halftime and told our guys, look, we are blessed to only be down 10-0 because again, you run 15 plays on offense. Our defense was out there for about 45. A lot of bad things could happen. Second half, as you said, we had a couple of opportunities. We had a couple of chances. We really got inside the 5 yard line or inside the 6 yard line 3 times. Dropped a touchdown pass. Had a poor decision on a quarterback pull, and we kicked a field goal. So again, credit Elon, credit Tony and his staff. Really feel like they did a very good job taking away a lot of what we were doing. But in the end, our guys have fought. Our guys have continued to push. Our two FCS losses, I mean, we're in games and we're fighting and we're scratching and we're down there. Just haven't had the results that we'd hoped.
Let's start with that defense. As you said, they were on the field quite a bit to hold Elon to 17 points. What were you able to do well on that side?
Yeah, I think we limited their explosive plays. Their quarterback obviously has a very strong arm. We were able to limit, his deep shots. Their biggest play really came on a blown coverage on a scramble. They were trying to throw the ball to the field. The back kind of checked in protection and was left alone. So, I mean, I thought we did a really good job of just containing, a lot of what they like to do. Again, they did have a handful of yards, but it was really between the 30s. You know what I mean? And so, we got in the red zone. One of the things we want to do is regulate the red zone. Thought we handled that pretty well. Thought we put ourselves in a pretty good position to accomplish that. And then, I think his running. I mean, some of their running yardage, quarterback scrambling. He's a really good athlete. We've seen that. I think they run the quarterback ISO. I don't know what they call it, but they run that about as well as anybody I've seen. And they hit that on us a couple times. But I think for the most part, we weren't giving up, 40, 50 yard plays. We weren't giving up the explosives.
Who did you feel like really excelled on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, Caden White, I thought, he had his best game for us. I think he had 8, 9 tackles somewhere in there. He was doing a great job on the outside. CJ McClendon, our other nickel, our other outside linebacker, he was doing a really good job as well. Our young D line, I think, held up, got wore down a little bit just because we had them on the field a little bit too long, as we mentioned. But, those guys, I think, stepped up and played pretty well.
Offensively, you touched on the three trips in the second half where you're in the red zone, one where you're to the one and had to take three, and then two where you make it. Were those, you touched on the drops and things like that, but as you've gone back and look, what would you like to do over there?
Yeah, I think, when we got to the one, they stuffed us a couple times, and then we ended up getting a penalty. Ran the play wrong, ran a play not to the way I think we're capable of running it. The next time down, we had an opportunity to hit an open guy, and we didn't. And then one time that we did hit the open guy, he ends up dropping it. So, credit Elon for, creating pressure, for putting us in, a very unique situation where we were a little rushed, we were a little hurried at different times. I thought they did a good job keeping us off base. Bottom line is we didn't execute as well as I'd like us to. Feel like I got to do a better job putting our guys in a better position to get down. We get down there, score points. 3 times down there, getting 3 points, not going to do you any good.
Yeah. Let's look ahead. Certainly a big challenge on Saturday with a high-powered offense in Monmouth. What are some of the challenges that they present as you look at them, especially on that offensive side of the ball?
Well, you mentioned the challenges that they present to you. You know, I've only got a couple of minutes, so I mean, we could talk probably as you have seen their highlights. We could probably talk for hours as to the problems they present. Quarterback's doing an amazing job. O-line's fantastic. Wide receivers are very athletic, and their running back was just named CAA Offensive Player of the Week. So I think they've got it rolling on offense. I think they're moving as well as we've ever seen them. We were in a similar situation last year against them, you know what I mean? And I thought they were firing on all cylinders. And our guys did a good job of, stepping up. We got to have that repeat performance. We've got to be able to, keep our offense on the field because if not, I mean, their offense is just going to take over. I think 35 against an FBS team is the least they've scored, this year. So they're firing on all cylinders. We know they're going to come out blazing. We know they're going to come out, getting after us. Again, we're just going to have to put together a game plan like we did last year to limit some of the things that they do.
Yeah, and Coach Callahan talked about that earlier. He said that you guys were the team really sort of boxed them in. You held them to 14 points a year ago with a lot of those same guys still there. Well, diving into details of game plan, what were you able to do so well a year ago?
Yeah, I think our guys just played extremely well and, had a great I mean, we didn't give up the deep shots. You know what I mean? When you watch Monmouth, they're going to throw the ball deep as well as anybody in the country. And their offense shows that. And we were able to limit some of that. You know what I mean? I think they hit a couple seam routes on us, maybe an outside one, one time or something like that. But really for us, it's, just containing those explosives. And I think they're running the ball a little better than they were a year ago, which is a credit to them. So we're going to have to be great in all phases. We're going to have to play physical football. We're going to have to get after it. Our D line's going to have to, rise up to the occasion to get a little pressure, see if we can move him in the pocket a little bit.
And then you touched on it. Maybe your best defense is a good offense and being able to get that run game going, which did go 2 weeks ago, maybe not as well against Elon. Is that going to be critical to your success?
Yeah, I think our offense has to play much better, and I got to do a better job getting those guys where they need to be. I think that's going to be key to this. We've got to be able to stay on the field. We've got to be able to, eat some clock. We've got to take advantage of our possessions. And like you say, I mean, if we can get back to the way we ran the ball against Bryant, and then, I thought we threw the ball really well in the second half against Elon as we were trying to, get down the field, do a little more. We got to be able to have those plays. Again, we got to be in sync. And then special teams, you got to be great there because they've got enough playmakers around the board, returning the ball, doing everything. So for us, complete game. Great that we get to be at home, get an opportunity to, try to get a win here at Johnny Unitas Stadium.
All right, Pete. Thanks so much for the time today, and look forward to talking again next Monday.